Hey there guys, I'm Lero and welcome back to Lero Gaming. Today we're going to be talking about Elden Rings. I'm so excited, we're only a few days away and the countdown is on. So with that said, I wanted to share 8 tips for people who maybe are new to Dark Souls games, or even if you're a veteran. I think these things are just a good refresher to have you ready on day one to get in there and to rage the least amount possible. So if you're into parrying, maybe you're into dodge rolling, the mechanics, while they can seem daunting at first, once you master those basics, you're gonna find the game a lot easier. Even though it is a bit of a legendarily difficult battle to beat the game, I think with these fundamental skills, you're gonna do great. So with that said, let's hop into our tips and let's start with number 1. All right, and we're on with our first tip, and that is play how you want. This is a game where you're kind of free to explore, do things the way you want to do it. You're not pigeonholed into a particular stat or class. I personally, like I said in my last video, I was in my underwear and like I said, in-game, not in real life, but hey, if you want to do that too, I'm not judging. But the bottom line is you can have fun, laugh, goof around. This doesn't need to be something that you're writing a formula or a thesis on. Again, you can beat this any way you want and adjust your statistics any way as you move along. There's no like set in stone way to do this. So number one, have fun. Because again, gaming is about enjoying yourself. I personally get pretty competitive with my matches, especially in PvP, but the first and foremost rule of gaming is have fun. So when you're going in there, don't lose that perspective. Get in there, play, be free, do it the way you want to do it. So that's my first tip. And now let's get on to number 2. All right, number 2 is persist. Don't give up. If you have any troubles, don't hesitate to come here to YouTube, go on to Twitch, check out your favorite streamers and things like that, and you can get tips from them, or just if you go on YouTube, you can even type in the specific level or boss. And sometimes if you're raging and you really just need that one minor detail, there's nothing wrong with seeking a second source. For me, I think it's important because, I'll try to spend as much time as possible. But again, if I can't figure it out, I'm not going to smash my head against the keyboard. I can't remember how many times I died to that Taurus demon in the last couple games. It was horrendous. So hopefully, I'm just going to guess there will be similar types of bosses and similar frustration. So, take your time, persist, all else fails. Come back to this channel, go to your favorite streamer, check it out, see if you can find some of those details. But otherwise, like I said, hard work pays off and persist. And now we're gonna get to number 3.
The greatest feeling you can get in a gym, or the most satisfying feeling you can get in the gym, is the pump.
All right, and we're on to number 3, and that is, how should I spec my character? How should I do my first build? And we are going to do a more in-depth video in the future. I'll hopefully link it here on the channel in the future when it is up. But for now, try to think about how are you gonna have fun? I think it goes back to point number 1. I often will spec in strength and some of these other types of, just basic melee type characters because it is kind of easier that way. But that said, feel free to spec how you want. In terms of armor, wear what you want. If you want to wear your underwear, like I said, go ahead and do that. If you want to just wear your trousers or your shirt, just have fun, enjoy yourself, have that childhood innocence where you're off there having fun with your friends. It doesn't have to be something that becomes a serious thing. Again, we will create some guides in the future for those who really want to get in depth. But for now, the most important thing is get in there, enjoy yourself. Strength is always an easy spec to go for, just in terms of basic stats. But again, with your armor and things like that, that usually doesn't matter as much as you think. So that all said, let's move on to number 4. All right, and we're on to number 4, and that is ignore the trolls. Listen, it's 2022. We've all been on the internet long enough, most likely, to know, don't get too upset. If you can, try to avoid the rage, reject it. Peace is your friend, and ultimately, you're gonna run into trolls in the game. People who have years of experience. I don't know if you've played any other competitive games, but in the PvP mode, it's something you can it's par for the course, you can expect it. You look at other games, Overwatch, League of Legends, there are gonna be people, CSGO, there are gonna be people who have played years at this game, and the best thing you can do is try to get away from them and enjoy yourself. Try to reject the toxicity. Whew, that's my biggest piece of advice. You'll be happier, they'll be happier, the internet will be happier, and we can all enjoy the positive parts of the game, not let the negative parts dominate it. All right, and we're on to number 5, which is be patient. Now you're gonna wanna take time to explore all those different nooks and crannies. This is a world created by From Software and George R.R. Martin, so you're gonna know there's a lot of detail here. You're gonna wanna look at all the different textures, the mini dungeons, all the different bosses out there. It's gonna provide all sorts of different types of experiences. If you're trying to rush from A to B, you're never really gonna get lost. And that's really the whole point of gaming, you really wanna get brought into that universe. And let's leave that for the TASBots or the speedruns later on. And in the meantime, let's meet up with our friends, let's have fun, take your time. And again, like I said, be patient, and really you'll find yourself having a great time. And now that brings us on to our next point, which is number 6. All right, and we are on to number 6, and that is watch streamers. Now don't be afraid to go check out your favorite streamer on YouTube or Twitch, or of course on this channel. But that said, if you're not a big purist and you don't mind having a little bit of a spoiler, it's always nice to go check out people who have really put in the time to do their research. Maybe they've gone through some of these challenges, and even more importantly, you're part of a community. So it's not just the game, you're actually brought into the environment, into the world with other people who love it. And that's one of the best things about really being a part of any hobby or game, or you get to interact with people who also love Elden Ring, or they may love other FromSoft games, and that's something beautiful. So I recommend going to check out your favorite streamers, favorite YouTubers, and that's a great place to get some help. All right, and we are on to number 7, and that is practice, practice, practice. And again, that's a big cliche, but find a point where near the spawn, where the enemies spawn up, you can sort of just work on your parrying, your dodging, just those basic micro skills. They're gonna make a world of difference. This is one of those games that you don't necessarily have to be the most amazing epic gamer with the most amazing Twitch skills. This is a game where you can have fun, and if you learn these micro basics, you're gonna be doing great. So I recommend, again, finding a spawn point, practicing those skills before you really get out there into the wider world. And that's something that I've done in the past that I find to be really useful. And this is a game that, similar to Assassin's Creed, it teaches you very smoothly how to use your combat skills. And by the time you're at the harder bosses, you're gonna find it to be a lot easier than you think. So take that extra time, figure those things out. And that brings us to our next point, which is number 8 and our last and most important point.
Excellent, Goku. Yes, you can hurt me as much as you want. The pain will only make me stronger. Okay, that's a pretty creepy thing to say.
All right, and we are on to number 8, our final and most important point. If there's one thing I can leave you with here today, it is that every failure is progress. That's true in all of your life, but also here in Elden Rings. So every mob spawn that crushes out of control and kills you, every boss fight where things go not quite to plan, that's something that's gonna make you a stronger player and ultimately will make you stronger for the next fight. So that's something to remember. You may feel frustrated now and today, but when you wake up tomorrow, you're gonna find, oh wow, I can parry that with ease. And that's something that's great about these games. Again, you're gonna find that with the patience to learn those micro skills, you're gonna improve so much that with every death and failure, you're gonna find the next one, you're just gonna survive a little bit longer. And by the end of it, you're gonna beat the game. That all said, that's 8 tips that you can do to be ready if you are a new player to Dark Souls and Elden Rings, so you can be ready on day 1, and so that you won't be, well, you have a little bit of rage, but you'll have a lot less rage than you could have before watching this video. That said, don't forget to smash and like that subscribe button, and I hope you will join me for the next video, which should be out in a day or 2. I think we're probably just gonna wait for the release on the 24th, which will be, really amazing, and we're gonna have a first impressions video for you then too. So that all said, thank you for joining me at Lero Gaming, and I'll see you in the next one.